I'm good. See, my meditation practice kept me calm out there.
Oh, so Braden and I were talking about the topic for today, and Braden, when he came on the show, said last week we talked about that we weren't quite done with the meditation because you were going to talk about some of the elements of it and how to do certain things. And I said, yeah, that's right. We did talk about that. So we need to go back to the basics of the meditation.
Yeah.
So it's good to see you again. And Connie Rose, of course, is our happiness and addiction coach and an experienced meditator. In our last discussion, you were telling us about some 4-day meditations that you participated in, and the fact that there are others that people work up to that are as much as 10 days or a month. And that's I think a wonderful objective, but many of the people that we're trying to reach with JoyScore are looking for the basics, the entry level. They know that this idea of meditation is something that is certainly important for them to consider, and that they ought to try and get started with it so that the value of the meditation can start accruing for them, and help break down some barriers so that they're better able to perceive joy in their lives. How do you get started? I want to meditate. I've got this lofty goal. I read Bhupendra's book. I looked in the app. The app says, Phillips, you need to meditate. So I'm all fired up. I want to do it. What do I do? What's my first step? Walk me through a beginner's process. What kind of things do I need to consider? What's important? Is there a sequence of steps? Take it away.
Okay, well, I've actually made some 1-minute meditations for the JoyScore app.
Yes,
So
wonderful.
People can actually just start with that 1-minute meditation, and I've actually done it in 48 seconds. So you can start off really simply. If you just started with 48 seconds a day, then after 7 days, you're on a roll of getting into the habit of being a meditator. So, and then after that, you can increase it a little bit more each day until years later, perhaps, you don't even need to think about the end goal. But I've done 4 or 5, I've done 4 10-day silent meditations, Vipassana style. And then I've done my own 10-day silent meditations alone, and 4 days, 2 days, etc. alone, because I'm an advanced meditator. I can do that alone. But I started off really, really simply with just 5 minutes a day. But I know it's possible to start with just 1 minute a day, and even 48 seconds. So you don't need anything necessarily.
So Connie, Braden doesn't know how to do that 48-second meditation. He doesn't know what to do.
So all you would need to do is listen to the meditation on the JoyScore app, but we can do it now. Let's just do, it's only 48 seconds. Should we just
Braden, are you there? Where are you, Braden?
Yeah, I think that's, let's go for it. Walk me through it.
So if you just take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Letting the exhalation be longer than the inhalation, because that lowers the stress response. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just letting your eyes close down. And now listening to the space in between the words that I speak. 1, 2, 3. Taking another deep breath in and out. So I don't know how long that was, but if you practice that,
That's very good.
So
if you practice that, yeah,
you were walking me through that. If I want to get started, is it advisable or desirable for me to have either the podcast that's walking me through it, or a YouTube video, or can I do it from a book? Do I need to have somebody talking to me? Should I get a tape? I mean, or can I just think this stuff myself?
I think the easiest way to start off is to do it a guided way and to find a meditator teacher that can guide you through it like this. So on the JoyScore app, there's going to be those 1-minute meditations that people can listen to on a daily basis or whenever they want. There's of course meditations on YouTube and etc. But meditation is really just about allowing yourself to be aware. And that's why I say listen to the space in between the words, because that's the awareness, the presence, and it brings you into the present moment. So meditation is wonderful because it's free and you can do it anywhere. And so if someone hasn't got that access to an app or anything like that, they can just practice just sitting and just concentrating on their breathing. And then when their mind wanders, just that's okay, thoughts come and go, just gently bring your mind back to your breath.
So, Connie, when you were talking about it, just before you came in, Susan, Braden's wife, we were discussing with her because she's right now focusing on and researching breathing. Although she's been a advocate of proper breathing all her life, she's taught her clients that she has trained how to breathe from diaphragm and you name it. But now she's taken even a higher level of interest in focusing on breathing. And I was just telling her that she needs to create some breathing videos for our audience so people can learn how to breathe. And 2 years ago, we had a podcast here in our office with her and one of our cardiologists who talked about breathing and stress management. So 2 years later now, she's focusing on breathing and researching. And we are talking about the fact that breathing has a lot to do with your stress management techniques. So if that were the case, I'm sure you teach people how to breathe.
Yes, yeah. And I breathing, oh my God, I'm so passionate about breath work because
Here is my request to you. As part of your content that you develop, and when you have time, if you can create series of under 1 minute videos of how to breathe. So these are like, you may say, breathing techniques level A, which is the beginner's level.
Yeah.
Like you were teaching us today how to meditate, beginner's level. then in the beginner level, you have these techniques of breathing, how to learn to breathe. And each one of these would somehow help you manage your stress. And actually, if you think about it, when we talk about joy and happiness, so when we eliminate stress from our life, we become happier, because that's the opposite of it. So these breathing techniques, level A, then you go to level B. When you have learned how to do it A, you go into a little more advanced techniques, and C is like mastering it. Very advanced technique. So if you can break it down for us in 3 levels, or as many levels as you think, or however you think it should be organized, I just like you to create a breathing program by Connie for our audience. And we'll have Susan also develop something like that. So then we'll have 2 people teaching our audience breathing techniques, because today I realized just before you joined the meeting that breathing is the most important thing people need to learn. The most important.
Yeah.
Susan said that without breathing for 3 minutes, you're dead. But without food and water, you can survive for 3 days.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's like in priority, breathing number 1, food and water number 2, and then learning how to exercise number 3. So I said to myself today, I said, my God, my responsibility is to help my audience with everything that is important to them. And I'm going to ask both Susan and Connie to help me with breathing techniques so that you can develop these videos. And then, by the way our system works, and I think we already talked about it, but just a reminder that as people click on your videos and spend time with it, it gets recorded. That's all your content view and your area of reward system, So develop these as soon as you can, send it to Soon. Let's put them on our app. Let's tell people that, look, breathing is very important in your stress management, in your happiness, joy improvement, and so on and so forth. And then your meditations and anything that you can create in terms of coaching them, coaching them about anything. Because, I think lessons from you would help our audience a lot. They can benefit a lot. And I think we are in a good place. So going back to meditation now, you gave us a good 48-second meditation starting point. Where should we go next after that?
Let me go back even further though, because the 48-second demonstration was super, but I'm a left brain guy. I'm looking for steps. What should I wear to meditate? Do I need special clothes to meditate?
No.
Okay, good.
You don't need anything. That's
So
the great thing.
anything goes in terms of my apparel.
Okay, how about sitting or standing?
Wait. Let me run through these, Bhupendra. Second, where should I do it? Do I need a special room? Do I need a special sitting position, standing position? How should I comport myself to optimize this 48-second experience that I'm about to have?
Right. Well, a lot of meditation teachers say, oh, you need a special room, you need to wear white linen, and you need to do all this stuff. But I think meditation can be done anywhere, but it is obviously easier if you are free of distraction. So turn your phone off, try and be in a quiet place when you're beginning the meditation journey and you're starting off, because it just makes it easier. But when you're an advanced meditator, like I am, I could meditate outside Macy's in New York, like I could meditate anywhere and find that peace because I have practiced every day for 8 years. So, that's an advanced meditator. But to start off, you don't have to be wearing anything. It's easier if you have a straight spine, because it just lets the energy kind of flow through you. And I think it's best to just think about your posture a little bit, just relax your shoulders back, just think about lifting them back, just making sure that spine's straight. And I think it helps to sit, but you don't have to be cross-legged. You can be on a chair, you can be laying down if you like, whatever gets you to do it. Like the less things you can put in the way of making sure that you get this done, the better, I think. So make it as easy as possible. But
So
I
guess the answer to the next question, I think you've just implied, but I gather that I don't need any special equipment. I don't need to have special chimes or a tape of special music or anything like that. It's just me, good posture, good breathing techniques, and all of that kind of stuff, and then work the 48-second steps that you were just describing. And that at least gets me started. And so I guess the next question I would have is, so how often do I need to do this? I mean, is this something I should do a couple of times a day, once a day, and build it up over time? Do I need to do it with other people? Should I always do this as an individual? Talk about those kind of things.
Okay, well, I would say again, make it as easy as possible to make sure that you do it as a daily practice. I think a daily practice is the most beneficial. It's like going to the gym. If you only went once a month to the gym, your body isn't really going to change, but you might feel a little bit better after that one session. But if you do it on a daily practice, you will start to see those benefits at a greater level. And I do think if you can try and do it as close to waking as possible and as close to sleeping as possible is good, because that's when the brain is most malleable and suggestible, because we're just coming out of that dream state, the alpha delta thing. So but it can be done anywhere, remember, at any time. But just think about free of distraction. Make sure it's easy as possible to keep that habit. I would suggest as soon as you wake up, as close as possible, and as close as possible to when you go to bed. Just start with that easy. But it can.
So if you're talking about right before you go to bed, can you extend that a little bit? Can it actually be when you're in bed, as you're lying before you go to sleep, or use the meditation as a pathway to sleep? Is that a doable thing?
Definitely. You can do it. You can start with the practice of when you get into bed, perhaps, try and avoid your phone so much, and then just maybe start with just counting to 10. Just do 10 breaths. That's like 20 seconds. Mm-hmm. And then you are getting into the practice of just relaxing your mind, and you'll find you'll sleep better as well. So then you can build that up. So then you get into the practice of when you wake up, just doing 10 breaths, and before you go to bed, 10 breaths, or using the app, for a 48-second or a 1-minute meditation, and then build it up over time. And you can be alone, you can be with other people. I think as time has gone on and I'm more aware of my energies and stuff that I never would have imagined I would feel and sense, I do sense that when I'm with someone else meditating, I feel kind of their energy in a way, like, and it can enhance the feeling. But at the beginning, you probably won't even notice that, because you haven't learned how to tune into your own body. Like after the first 10-day silent meditation I did, I was astounded. I was like, I can't believe that I can feel all these sensations on my body. And I was just walking around not knowing that I had all these sensations coursing through my body. It was like day and night. So yeah, so it's a practice. Just start off really, really simple.
When in your 48 seconds, and in our discussion, you've talked about, posture, having your shoulders back, your spine straight, and then breathing. But we didn't talk about any sort of general relaxation. I mean, you see people, sometimes, doing the shakeout thing to loosen their muscles up, or, do the Gumby thing where you're, just kind of shaking like that. Do you need to be aware of that? Is there any formal technique that you ought to be using to prepare your muscles?
I would say that if you're starting off, don't worry about any of that. That's all like stuff that you can add on later. Like I do like shaking, actually, like to just shake off that energy. And I do that after a client session sometimes when I do energy work with them. But you can just start off with your breath, a good posture. That's all you need. To sort of try, don't overthink it, because that's what meditation is about. It's just about just becoming more aware, and it's not having no thoughts. It's just becoming aware of the present moment.
Gotcha.
Being gentle with yourself.
Okay. Bhupender, have you got any additional thoughts or comments?
Yes, I have one which I'm fascinated by the way you question all this, and had Connie talk about these fundamentals, because, I've heard about people learning to meditate, but nobody talks about these very basic elements of it. How to sit, where to be, how to start, all that stuff. So to me, I think this podcast today is of a lot of value to our audience to understand where do you start. And it's not that difficult, because she shows us the demonstration. It's not that hard.
No, I don't think it is, but I do think that for someone who hasn't done it, I think it's almost foreboding. I mean, people talk about this intense experience that you have, the awareness of the sensations in your body, and the relaxation, and if you haven't been there, how do you, that's holy cow.
How do you feel?
That's a steep hill to climb. Am I going to be able to do that? And so, for me, it makes a lot of sense to break it down to the really simplistic things that you people that have meditated for a long time, it's just part of your life now. But for somebody that hasn't meditated before, I think walking them through those building block steps can be very helpful, because it makes the quest of meditation less foreboding.
If anyone to watch our podcast today, this discussion, I have no doubt can start meditating. because
That's the objective.
we kind of nailed it, you know, we nailed it beautifully.
Yeah,
And
and also just like if you're ever stressed and in a stressful situation, just remember the breath.
Right.
Just because you'll find if you're stressed, you know, your breath could, and that's not, you know, that's heightened stress levels. So focusing on the breath, just taking that long, just one deep breath.
Right, right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've all either experienced or seen in the movies, you know, somebody that gets all agitated about a particular thing. You know, the first thing that happens is someone comes and says, okay, calm down, take a deep breath, relax, it's going to be okay. You know, those are the instinctive reactions of someone who encounters someone who is hyper agitated. And we all get hyper agitated about various and sundry things during the course of the day. And I think you're absolutely right. The recognition that you can start to get your arms around that agitation just by simply breathing properly and taking a few deep breaths, and then you're better able to deal with whatever challenge was causing the agitation.
You know, Braden, it just came to my mind that, Connie, I don't know if you know that Braden ran a police department, city of Long Beach, with 1,300 police officers. Connie?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I did know that.
So I was just thinking that I know that as a fact that police officers go through a lot of stress every day because they have no idea what they're going to get in next minute and who's going to be shooting at them, you know, because they're kind of living a life of unpredictability.
Which is stressful.
Very stressful. I mean, they don't know what the next call is going to be, who they're going to meet next, and who's going to be shooting at them. I mean, I was thinking about that, talk about stressful life. I don't think you can be any more stressful than a police officer out on the street, going on a call, meeting someone, knocking and going into somebody's house. They have no idea what they have in the house or what kind of a gun they have. You know, I mean, so I was just thinking that, you know, if anyone can use some techniques and tips from breathing to meditation, police officers can. I mean, it's like it should be part of the police academy training, Braden.
Well, in part it is. I mean, the importance of exercise, fitness, in
Oh, I'm talking about breathing and meditation.
But in the training at the range, one of the things that they instruct you is when you're sighting your weapon on the target, the last thing you do before you pull the trigger is control your breathing. Because if you're breathing at an accelerated rate, that sight picture is moving up and down. So one of the things that police officers are taught is if they're going to use their service weapon, they need to have their breathing under control because that allows them to control their body better. And it also is a stress reducer.
Right.
I mean, I used to do the same kind of thing when I was flying airplanes in the Navy. Flying on the carrier at night is a fairly stressful activity, and in order to do it right, you can't be hyperventilating and flailing around the cockpit. You gotta, get control of yourself, focus the body, and control your breathing. And it's you do it sort of without the benefit of having learned how to meditate. But it's if you're going to be effective, you've got to learn how to breathe properly and control your breathing.
Yeah, The same with scuba diving.
Yes.
So I'm an advanced scuba diver, and the instructor always said, right, so the winner is the person that comes up with the most air in their tank.
Oh.
And I would win. I would win because I'm a meditator and I practice breathing. So and people say that the fewer breaths you take in a life, the longer you will live.
Oh,
So,
that's the inverse of the limited heartbeat theory, which non-joggers used to always tell me when I was running that I was using up the latter part of my life because I was getting all my heartbeats done early.
No, because
I know
exercise makes you less stressed. So actually it is better for you. And like and Kundalini breath work, there's a lot of
Right.
that does lower the stress. There's different types of breathing that lowers the stress, but yeah, scuba diving, you have to keep calm.
Have you seen the movie My Octopus Teacher?
No, I haven't.
Write that down. My Octopus Teacher. It's on Netflix. It is a fantastic documentary of a guy in South Africa who free dove and literally established a relationship with an octopus.
Really?
It's incredible. I won't tell you any more about it, but the fact that the guy was free diving, filming this stuff, and spending the amount of time down there that he was, obviously he was in control of his breath and practiced the technique that you were just demonstrating in order to get that volume of oxygen into his body. It's really a good movie, and as a diver, there was some fantastic shots in there that I know you'd appreciate.
Wow. So let's do this. I think we accomplished our goal for today's podcast very well.
Good.
I think
so next time maybe we'll talk about, I think you said you wanted to talk about forgiveness.
It was just an idea, yeah, but I have another idea.
Well, and I'll tell you, for JoyScore, one of the elements in the book talks about relationships. And if you want to have lasting, meaningful relationships and sustain them, there's going to be a forgiveness part of the equation, because we as human beings always screw up. So I think that'll be a fun thing to talk about. And I would just plant the seed now that as we're talking about these things, if we can use the same sort of a building block concept so that you can make the baby steps into how you get to a place where you're able to forgive. I won't say forgive and forget, because I don't think we ever do, but you can forgive and learn is probably
a good starting point.
Better metric. So next time, that's what we can try.
Okay, perfect.
Look forward to it.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.